Hey, Earth and I fam, it's Shayna here, and today's flow is going to be centered on recognizing who you are now and empowering who it is that you're becoming. We're ending a calendar cycle. This is a very powerful time to play around with what it is that we're closing the book on, what it is that we're leaving in the past chapters. And this can be a very difficult time, but we have to recognize that in order to find the goal that it is we're mining for, we have to be willing to move the big boulders. We have to be willing to do the hard work and to face the things that make us really, really uncomfortable in order to find and receive that true abundance that it is that we know that we're worthy of. As you know, here we flow, so let's go. There's been a lot of powerful themes coming up recently in terms of recognizing where I stay stagnant. We spend so much time in our imaginations, and that is not a bad thing, but it can become a very unhealthy thing very quickly. We have to remember that we live in a world of projections. Even our own identity is a projection. It is a culmination of our beliefs and ideas about ourselves that's being projected into the world as our name or as our profession or as the way that we're perceived. And when we start viewing life from that perspective, we're removed from the root and true identity of who we are. Taking inventory and sitting with ourselves and paying attention to what it is that's keeping us stagnant is a beautiful thing to do right now. Writing down what are the things that I'm holding on to that are not serving me moving forward. It can be very simple. And when we start simple, it gets deep very, very fast, especially when we have a clear vision in mind. Right now, check in with what your vision is for your life. How are you moving towards that? How are you blocking yourself from receiving that? What are some important characteristics that you would like to embody more that bring that to manifestation? We have to recognize that anything that we can imagine is tangible in the world. Again, because we live in a world of projection. It takes a lot of energy to bring something into fruition. And that's why we have to be pioneers of our energy. We have to pay such close attention to where we're giving energy. Whether it's paying attention to thoughts, to conversations, and taking a moment to think, this is not a great use of my energy. I need to redirect this energy, this gorgeous life force. And making those small shifts is abundantly powerful. Another really important theme is that we are not going to receive that instantaneous reward that we've been conditioned to search for in our lives. When we start really tapping into creation energy, manifestation, whatever you would like to call it, we have to recognize that we are co-creating. We are working with life. And with that, we have to accept life's timetable and not be so impatient with the way that things are playing out. Everybody has dreams and true desires and goals, but only very few of us reach those because of the lack of patience, because of the desire to control. And the more that we can train ourselves and create safety within our own being, the more likely we are to truly become that version of ourselves that we were put here to be. Finding practices and finding the time and creating the space to hold ourselves accountable, to reflect, and truly understand who we are, not who we believe ourselves to be. That's a huge misconception too. Many times we are way more powerful. We are way more beautiful. We are way more important than we believe ourselves to be. And when we start shifting our awareness into that true essence, it continues expanding. It becomes so much more than we believed we were even worthy of. And being present through that transformation, that's true manifestation. Sometimes it just happens at the drop of a hat, but other times we have the honor of truly watching the caterpillar become the butterfly. holding ourselves safe and loving ourselves through every cycle, through every phase. That's the true importance. And how do we do that? We do that by remembering our essence, by remembering the true experience that is life, by not judging or categorizing ourselves or fitting in the mold. That's another powerful theme. Recognize where in your thoughts, where in your life blueprint, you are chalking yourself up to fitting into a mold. That limits our creativity. That limits our abundance and our ability to create something that is truly authentic. These barriers exist in many aspects of our lives, but they play out uniquely for each of us. By taking the time to really monitor our thoughts and check in with our belief systems, that's when we can truly step into the new version of us that is fresh and has so much more space than the past version of us had. And we do that by holding it, by creating it, by nourishing it. That ties into another theme, and that theme is belief systems and foundations. I'm actually recording and going to be posting this on the Capricorn new moon, which, whether or not you're into astrology, we can pair that with the new year coming up. Very, very powerful right now to take account of our belief systems and the foundations through which we run all of our life experiences. There's deep transformation capable and happening right now. Why are you not letting yourself enjoy that or work with that? I had to ask myself that question too. And you will be matched with exactly the energy or the phrase or the feeling that you are meant to receive in that moment when you open up fully, truly, and vulnerably. Now back to the belief systems. We have deep-rooted beliefs of scarcity and unworthiness and of reliability and the way that life is supposed to be. The more that we mine at those beliefs, we get closer and closer to full self-actualization, full self-realization, because we are not meant to live in a box. We are not meant to take a certain path. Of course, we have a soul desire path, but in this life experience, it takes on endless forms. And us as a co-creator, we have the ability to manipulate and manufacture those forms in a way in which serves us in the present moment. When we find the bravery and the courage to really question these fundamental beliefs and foundations of life, monumental shifts start happening in the most subtle ways possible. And as they add up, we step into a new way of being. So, with all those themes, recognize that you are who you believe yourself to be, yet you are always so much more than that. And that process continues to happen as we realize and recognize the abundance of life, the endless capacity that we have to love and to create and to become. And when we're willing to just ride those waves and get off the loop, it's unbelievable. We can't believe the experiences we start having, the lack of stagnancy, the true flow of our life, the gushing of love from every person that we meet and interact with, the way that we feel changes, the way that we look at ourselves changes, and therefore the way we look at other people changes, the way we recognize nature and the beautiful lessons it's constantly teaching us. Opening up to that is the greatest gift we can ever give ourselves. And recognize that you can live whatever life you would like to live. It's a process, though. It's not you don't just check it off the checklist. You are constantly in that creation state, in that flow state. It's all about muddling through the hard times and recognizing the power of the good. They go hand in hand. We can't have one without the other. As I wrap up this flow today, I want to thank you for your bravery, for your presence right now, and for taking the time to be the true architect of your life. of your outplay of this experience. Ask yourself, who are you right now? And then ask yourself, who do I believe myself to be? And then you can follow up with, how do these two contradict? And how can I allow these two perspectives to coexist? And when that flow comes through, question, who am I holding the space for myself to become? And then from there, allow yourself to list out some affirmations, some intentions, some true goals that you are holding, and ask for support. Ask for commitment. Empower your deepest dedication to becoming this truest version of who you are. And allow the old versions and constructs to slowly fade away. So beautiful.